The 2021 British Touring Car Championship season is about to start, so join us here on Is It Fast as we preview what looks to be one of the most exciting BTCC seasons ever. Can I get an amen? The 2021 British Touring Car Championship is back. So we have got 10 rounds of racing with 3 races in each round, visiting 8, oh yes 8, of the UK's best racing circuits. We'll be going as far as Fife when the entire circus visits Knockhill in Scotland, and then it comes back down south as the rest of the rounds take place from everywhere from Silverstone, Snetterton, Thruxton, where this season's opener is taking place, to here, our home circuit of Is It Fast at Brands Hatch in leafy Kent, which is, of course, the Garden of England. For those of you who are new to the British Touring Car Championship, or for those of us who've just forgotten a little bit of what it's meant to be, here is a very quick rundown. 29 of the UK's and Ireland's, hello Aaron, best drivers will be competing with each other around 30 races up and down the country. With the Touring Car Championship, the better you do, the harder it gets, because from 10th place all the way up to 1st place, the championship start adding weight to your car, something called success ballast. So when you finish in 10th, or if you're in 10th place, you get 9 kilograms added to the weight of your car. And it goes up by 9 kilograms incrementally until you get to 1st position, where at that stage you are carrying 75 kilos of weight as you go zooming around the track. So obviously that makes it harder, which makes last season's champion even more impressive, as Ash Sutton is the current reigning champion as we head into the 2021 season, as he zooms around in an Infiniti Q50 with Laser Tools Team Hard Racing. Touring car weekends are 2-day extravaganza affairs, with qualifying taking place on the Saturday and then the 3 races taking place on the Sunday. Qualifying is much like other motorsport championships, where basically the quicker you are, the better position you get on the grid. The 3 races that take place on a Sunday, race number 1 is determined by qualifying, race number 2 is determined by how you finish in race number 1, and then race number 3, there's something called a reverse grid. So the drivers that finish between 6th and 12th place basically all get numbered, and balls come out of a hat, and whatever number attributed to that driver means that that driver starts on pole. That wasn't very well explained, but basically they swap the grid around and it is completely down to chance and luck, and away you go. So that is a very, very quick and not a very informative roundup of how the BTCC works. Now let's get into the drivers, the teams, and the cars. So what about the 29 drivers? Well, I could sit here and go through every single boy and girl that has signed up for this season, but I'll be here all day. So let me give you some highlights. Of the 29 drivers, there are some massive, huge names in the world of touring cars that have come back to the championship after some time away. No bigger than Gordon Flash Shedden, who has returned to Team Dynamics to try and claim his 4th British Touring Car Championship title. He went away for a couple of years to ply his trade in the World Touring Car Racing Championship, but he's back to pilot the Honda FK8 Civic Type R of Team Dynamics with Halfords and Cataclean, which brings me promptly onto the 2nd driver in the Honda Team Dynamics with Cataclean lineup, and that is a certain Dan Rowbottom, who, along with Cataclean, is a new but old face in the BTCC. A quick disclaimer, this will not clean your cat, but will clean your fuel lines. So that's always good. I'll just hand that back to the director now. So Dan Rowbottom is back in the 32 car piloting a Honda Civic Type R after a year away from the championship, where he made his debut with Sicily Motorsport in a Mercedes A-Class. We actually caught up with Daniel Rowbottom as his announcement was made. Make sure you click on the little banner that's coming out there to see what he had to say about joining Team Dynamics. Elsewhere on the grid, there's been drivers chopping and changing compared to 2020. We see Jade Edwards, who did a guest round last year with PMR, come back into the championship for a full season with a full drive in a Honda Civic Type R, with BTC Racing. She's joined by Josh Cook, and unfortunately at the last minute, fan favourite Michael Creasy pulled out of the championship, being replaced by Dan Camish, who was racing for Team Dynamics in another Honda Civic. He went away, was going to drive in Porsches. I think he's still actually driving in the Porsche GB Carrera Cup, driving one of these GT3 Cups. But he's back for this round at Thruxton in BTC. So a bit of a swappy swap there, which is all good. Elsewhere across the grid, you have got the returning Jason Plato. He pulled out of the 2020 championship for, well, obvious reasons related to COVID and budget and one thing and the other. And he's back with PMR as he will be racing one of the oldest cars on the grid, the Vauxhall Astra. There's not just drivers returning to the championship, there's also drivers chopping and changing teams. So, Tom Ingram, who made his name and has raced with Speedworks in a Toyota for, oh crikey, the last 5 or 6 years, has made a jump. He's left Speedworks and the Toyota Corolla and gone to Accelerate Trade Price Cars to race a Hyundai i30. Don't worry, he is bringing his Ginsters livery with him. So, you know, we can all rest easy because what's life without pasties, right, and pies? Going in other directions, we've got Tom Chilton, who has found himself jumping around teams and cars kind of over the last 10-ish, 15 years, but he has made the jump to Sicily Motorsport as they ship out their Mercedes A-Class and bring in the BMW 330i. So Adam Morgan and Tom Chilton will be racing around in BMWs. As you go across the grid, you've got Stephen Jelly going back to WSR, racing in the BMWs for them. You've got Tom Oliphant and Colin Turkington staying put. And then you've got some huge arrivals in the car department. It's not just the drivers that are worth keeping an eye out for, it's also the cars. And we'll start with the newest cars on the grid, the Cupra Leons run by Team Hard. If you want to watch a tour of when we visited the Cupra Leon at its unveiling, then make sure you click on the banner above and I will take you on a tour of the brand new Team Hard Cupra Leon BTCC car. But the beauty of the British Touring Car Championship is that you can see cars going round very, very quickly that you could essentially go out and buy, albeit heavily modified. So we have the Cupra Leons of Team Hard, the Infiniti Q50s, of which Ash Sutton rode to victory last year, of Team Laser Tools, who over the Christmas and winter period kind of merged with Team Hard. So there's something to keep an eye on, the dynamics of how this new super team of 7 cars, so 4 Cupras, Glyn Geddy, Aaron Taylor-Smith, Jack Goff, Nick Hamilton, and if you want to see us interview Nick Hamilton, click on the banner that should hopefully be coming up above my head now, and then the 3 Infinitis, Carl Boardley, who's ditched his BMW 1 Series, and Aidan Moffat and Ash Sutton, who remain in the Infinitis. So that is quite the power family on the BTCC grid. But what other cars are there to look out for? You will see 4 Hyundai i30 Sportbacks on the grid this year, courtesy of Trade Price Cars with Accelerate, or the other way around, as those teams did a bit of a merger thing over the Christmas and New Year break. Elsewhere on the grid, it is much of a muchness from 2020. The hatchbacks are still around in the form of the Speedworks Corolla, the Ford Focus STs, and that dusty old Astra at PMR. And then we've got the saloons of the BMW ranks, 5 of which are now in the championship this year. But tell us in the comments, what do you think about this year's crop of cars and which ones do you think are going to make the biggest impact? So here we are at Thruxton. It is the first rounds. Tell us in the comments who is going to do the best, who is going to win the races, who's going to be top 5 across round 1, 2 and 3. Thruxton is a super quick circuit. You have got to have cojones like melons to make that track your own. So tell us, what do you think the results are going to be across race 1, 2 and 3? I'm going to put my neck on the line and I'm going to tell you who I think is going to do the best. I think Jake Hill is going to win a race at Thruxton in the Ford Focus. I just saw him in testing. He was quick as. I think Team Hard are going to podium in that new Cupra. I think it's going to happen. They're quick. They've had a great pre-season. The testing's gone really well. I think all 4 of the Cupras, in fact, are going to at least get points at Thruxton. So just putting my neck on the line. I think Tom Chilton or Adam Morgan, I think they're going to podium as well in that BMW. They were also very quick in testing this year. And I think Ash is going to take a victory in the Infinity as well, because he's Ash Sutton. I mean, come on, he's going to... I mean, he's already got 2 titles. He knows what he's doing. As for the rest of the pack, do you know what? It is the tightest championship I can remember in a long, long time. The cars are all good. Some are unproven, obviously. Some of the drivers are new to the championship, and they'll take a little while to bed in potentially, in just kind of the nature of the championship. But I'm really interested to hear what you think. I speak to lots of friends and fans all the time, and everybody seems to have a different opinion. So tell me what you think. What do you think the first 3 races at Thruxton are going to throw up? I mean, one thing is for sure, it is going to be one heck of a season. Double down by the fact that we can go back to racetracks as fans. And isn't that just what we want to do, right? We just want to be trackside, watching these guys and girls zoom around at 170 mile an hour, throwing caution to the wind as they go side by side as they head towards Druids. I mean, that is what I'm looking forward to the most. So thank you very much for watching Is It Fast as we preview the BTCC season ahead. Hopefully we will see you at a racetrack very, very soon, and make sure that you stay tuned to Is It Fast as we review the 2021 season as it unfolds. And if the BTCC is not enough touring car action for you, make sure that you tune in to Is It Fast to watch live touring car trophy and TCR UK racing right here on Is It Fast, as well as a highlights program that we do from every single round of this year's Goodyear Touring Car Trophy and TCR UK Championship. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you soon. Ha 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 ha!